If I were to give Mr. Malema an advice, this is what exactly what I would say to him, or what I would tell him to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video and let me tell you what I'm thinking. Let's go. First of all, like obviously every person who is in a political party, as a president of that political party, their ambitions, obviously, it's going to be what? One day we take over, one day we become the government. That means we win the elections and then eventually we become the government and the president of that party becomes the president. Now, when you think about Mr. Malema or you think about the EFF, obviously, that is also one of the things that are actually they do have in their minds, or Mr. Malema is thinking about, which is to become a president one day. Okay, that's why they call him CIC, you know, commander-in-chief and stuff like that, because obviously you cannot be in this space and become a leader of a party without you thinking that you want to become a president one day. So Malema is also thinking about that, which is the dream of every person who is running a party. Now the question is, what would I say to Mr. Malema if I were to advise him, ladies and gentlemen? First of all, guys, I don't want to sugarcoat things. I don't want to behave as if like I want people to like me or to like the video. No, this is the advice that I would give to Mr. Malema. I would say to Mr. Malema, because you've got an ambition, or because you've got a dream of becoming a president one day, this is what I would advise you to do, my guy. Okay, in as much as you are an aggressive person in terms of your views, okay, you express yourself, you speak like it is, you don't sugarcoat things, you don't do anything like that and stuff like that. But I believe that Mr. Malema, if you want to become a president one day, okay, I'm not trying to make you to be down. I don't want to make you to not say your things that you want to say, but I would say to him, please calculate your actions. That means calculate your moves. Don't just move. Calculate your moves. And since you are a leader of a party like the EFF, make sure that you avoid things that are going to make you, or things that are going to give your enemies a leverage, or give your enemies an advantage, or give your enemies something that they can hold on to destroy you. You get my point? In other words, Mr. Malema, all you gotta do is to make sure that you avoid and you stay away on anything that might seem like, or that might look like it can bring you, or it will give you a disadvantage, or it may make you to look like not a president of the future. Okay? Let me just make an example maybe. You remember when the case of Mr. Malema and the gun and everything started, there was something that came into my mind at that time. I was not active actually on YouTube at that time, but I was thinking, and I was talking to someone and say to them, why is the Mr. Malema always create an opportunity for his enemies to use against him, or to use to destroy to destroy him without them working hard to destroy him? Okay, now on the case of the gun that he was found guilty of, I believe that in the first place, even in the celebration, because you understand that you are a big party, that you are a party that anyone doesn't want to see taking over one day, and you've got ambitions to become presidents. That's why I said, make sure that you avoid certain things in your life, or certain things in your journey of politics. For me, I believe it was not necessary for Mr. Malema to use the gun in that celebration. If I was his advisor, I was going to tell him, Mr. Malema, please don't use any gun this time in your celebrations, because let me tell you something. You may think that every event you go to, every person who comes there, they come there to support you, to do whatever. There are people who are there to point out the mistakes or to look at what we can use against Mr. Malema. And unfortunately, on the gun thing, they found something. When I was rereading, actually, when I was hearing the lady reading the judgment and everything, and I think there was a guy also who explained to say, when they did the investigation after the event, they found a cartridge. You get my point. They found a cartridge. And unfortunately, if they have found a cartridge, oh my guy, you are in trouble. Okay? I would say to Mr. Malema, I want you, my guy, to relax. Stop making opportunities for your enemies to use against you. That means avoid doing these small mistakes, small things that you should be avoiding as an adult now. I understand. Mr. Malema is a young person, as per, you know, according, perhaps he's not that old. He's still young. He still wants to enjoy, still wants to see his celebrations of the EFF, you know, being big, you know, shooting guns, toy guns or guns, whatever it is. But I would say to him, avoid those things just to make sure that you don't give leverage to your enemies. Right? Because when you come back now, after the case started, then he was testifying, and also, you know, you could tell that when he was testifying, and then the way he would respond and everything like that and all of that. Now, the problem is, for me, he wouldn't even have to be in that seat of court and everything, because that thing, it delays you. That thing, it makes you to shake. Even though Mr. Malema may seem as if like he's brave, but it makes you to shake. Because the EFF, I don't care who you are, the EFF without Malema, I can promise you right now, it is going to be in trouble. I'm not saying there are no people who are capable. I'm not saying there are no people who can run the EFF. But let me tell you something. At the moment, Mr. Malema is the oil of that thing. Without him there, it's going to be troublesome. It's going to be problems, okay? And a lot of people, they might even check out from the EFF. So Mr. Malema has to think about his people. He has to think about the future. He has to think about the people that actually are still in the EFF just because Malema is there. I told you in the past that every party, there is a person or there are people who've got their own favorites. You see those people at the top there, the top 6, top 8, top whatever, and all of that. There are people who've got their favorites over there, all right? And we need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Malema is important in the EFF. And if he does anything that is going to give his enemies a leverage against him, they will use it. They will not even miss it. They will use it, okay? Now, after the case, right? Then the judgment comes, and then the judgment is done. And then after it is done, he is found guilty, okay? You could tell even after the reading of the guilty part, right after they adjourned, Mr. Malema was standing there on the screen, and you could tell that he's worried actually, and all of that, judging from his body language. He was not saying anything. He spoke a bit, and then he stopped, and then he was quiet, and you could tell that he's deep in thoughts, okay? Now, after he has done that, and then they went out, and then he goes and address the people. He goes and address the EFF people, right? Unfortunately, again, Mr. Malema does the same mistake that I'm talking about. Avoid to put yourself in a place where they can use that gap or use that opportunity to put you away, or to make sure that you don't say anything, or to do whatever, like taking you to jail. Okay? Now, Mr. Malema goes into the stage. Boom! He starts by saying, which I agree with him, to say, why did they find the other guy who was a guard for Mr. Malema, I think, who gave the gun, or I don't know, you know, and all of that. Why didn't they found him guilty? but they found Malema guilty. I understand all of that, and I agree with him. It doesn't make any sense for me. And when he says actually that this is a sign, guys, that shows you that they were looking for me. They were not looking for the guy, okay? Which I can understand that, and I can take that, okay? But then Mr. Malema goes on, and then he speaks about the judge. The same judge that is going to submit a sentence for him, and then he says she can't read. He says she can't read. If it was a black person rereading there, they could have like made a halapalu about it. They could have made it a big thing to say she can't read, but because she was struggling to read and everything like that, and then she calls her a racist judge and everything like that. The same judge that is going to send or submit a judgment against Malema. If that judge is a judge who watches social media, who watches the news, unfortunately, Mr. Malema is going to be on a disadvantaged side when it comes to the judgment. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who is in the seat of judge, they are a judge, they are whatever, okay? They have got power on their side. They can just sentence you in 15 years and you are not going to say anything about it. The only thing you will be left with, it is actually the appeal, which according to the EFF, of course, after the judgment, if there is, then they will appeal and everything like that. But the judgment would have been made. That's my problem, ladies and gentlemen. In as much as we know that there are things that we can't have control over, we must avoid this thing of putting ourselves in a vulnerable position where people, they can use it against us to take us down. Let us stop making it easier for people to use things against us and without working even any hard. You get my point? And I do understand that Malema, they have got the right as an EFF to do whatever they want to do in those events of theirs. But they must also understand not everyone who comes there is there for good intentions. Okay? They are there to mark. They are there to make sure that they see a mistake and they take it and they use it against him. What I would say, Malema, relax. Malema is so powerful that whatever he says, it touches everyone. I don't know why he doesn't use this thing that he has been given, you know, this thing of speaking truths, of speaking things, predicting things and stuff like that. Use it to his advantage without getting himself into trouble when it comes to some actions that it takes as a young man or as a man or as a person who is a leader of a party. He is so powerful, you know. When they played the video there in America, he was not shooting anyone. He was not shooting guns in the air. No, they were complaining about what he said. That's how powerful Mr. Malema is. But unfortunately, sometimes he puts himself into a disadvantage. Okay? That is what I would say to Mr. Malema. And please listen to me very careful. Because he's got maybe a potential and maybe he is so, one day he's got this dream, this thing of becoming a president. That's what I would advise him to do. Because we all know, ladies and gentlemen, for you to make a complete change in South Africa, you need to make sure that you get power. That's why every political party, they fight for power, because they want to make a change. You can't make a full change without accessing some kind of a power. That's why organizations like Dudula, they want to be in politics. They are going for politics because they know and they understand that their impact, it may just end there and there, there and there. They are lucky because they are talking about them and everything. But I can tell you, they can only talk about you. You will never make any impact that is broad if you are not in power or if you are not in some kind of politics and everything like that. Okay, that would be my advice to Mr. Malema. You may be asking me, what would be your straight advice then, Mr. David? It's very simple. Mr. Malema, stay out of trouble. Avoid doing things that is going to give your enemies to destroy you without working any hard. Okay? Focus on your job. Focus on what you need to do. Focus on serving the people. Focus. Use your mouth. You've got a tool that is your mouth. Use it. Use it to your advantage. You are already powerful, sir. You don't have to prove to anyone. You are already powerful. Do what you gotta do so that when it happens that you become a president, because I can promise you, any person who wants to be a president of any country, where they are right now, they are very careful on what they are doing. Okay, just like Mr. Traore. I think if you can follow the history of Mr. Traore in Burkina Faso and look at how he behaved himself before he became the president. And then when he got into the presidency, then he started to explode. In other words, he was doing things from the underground, like he was preparing things to say, if I take over, I am going to explode. But at the moment, I'm going to shire things under the ground. And when I appear, I'm going to appear with strong force. And that's what he's doing. They didn't see Mr. Traore coming. I promise you, they didn't see him coming. When he appeared, it was too late. I believe that's how people who want to become presidents, they must do. That is just my advice to those people who think that maybe Mr. Malema is being aggressive, you know, he's being a activist, he's being a what, but sometimes such things, they can work against you, especially if they see that you've got a potential of becoming a president, if they see that you've got a potential of becoming maybe the second biggest party in South Africa. People, they can use whatever they want to use against you, especially if you touch a nerve, especially if you touch some toes or you step on some toes. Sometimes it does happen like that. So I would say, Mr. Malema, stay out of trouble, sir. You don't want to go out of court, in courts, jail, out of court, jail, out of court. And then people, they will look at you and be like, he was fighting for the black people. But when you see his potential, you see that actually the guy should have gone far, but because of these mistakes, and then it deprived him. Listen, I know some of you will be coming. He's fighting for black. I understand. Do it smarter. Do it smart. Do it smarter. Do you think that Mr. Zuma, when he went to that country, I don't know where he went in Africa, do you think Mr. Zuma just went there for the sake of going there? That move was calculated, Baba. That move, it was calculated. Anything that a person who is strategic and who is planning things well, they take a move. That move makes a very big impact. That's what Mr. Zuma did. Now, when you look at politics, guys, don't look at politics like from your point. Look at them from, for me, I like Mr. Malema, and I want Mr. Malema to be in politics for a long time, because I think we need somebody like that in politics. Okay, I know we've got other parties that came in now, your ATM, your that one with Mr. Adams there, and then you've got the MK, but I understand all of that. But the EFF, trust me, is very important. Okay, I want it to be there, but I want Mr. Malema to be very careful, because otherwise, like I said, the EFF, they need him to be around for some time, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Tell me, what do you think about that? That is just my advice to the guy, okay? I'm not saying anything. And according to what I am speculating, when it comes to the judgment, I suspect that they might be harsh because of what, guys, I can promise you right now, anything that is said in the public, if it gets to an ear of a judge who's supposed to be judging you, trust me, and if she finds out that she was called a racist, she was not able to read, what do you think it will do to her? Obviously, she's going to be like this guy, and then boom, and then they appeal, they reject the appeal. Then what? You get my point. Anyway, that is just my opinion. Oh, by the way, I have changed the name of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. From now on, it is called World Watch by David.M. Okay, I'm going to push that, and I'm going to make sure that I work very hard on this, because listen, ladies and gentlemen, please guys, do me a favor, man. You guys you don't like this channel. You don't like the video. See, when you watch, some of you come, you watch, but you have not subscribed. I can see when I check there, people who watch are people who are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. And you who have already subscribed and you watch my videos, please guys, can you like the video? If you are 700, just like the video. Okay, just click the like button. It's free. You are not paying anything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. You have a fantastic day. That was just my view. Put your view in the comment section. Do you think the behavior of Mr. Malema is doing justice to him? Is not justice, but it's actually giving him advantage, or it's a good move, or it's just Malema being Malema? It's okay. Okay? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We are done. And guess what? We are out.